To talk about what is, let's be honest, often the trickiest part of a research paper, the conclusion. You've done all the hard work, you've got your data, but now, how do you stick the landing? Let's break down how you can finish really strong.
I want you to think about your conclusion a little differently. It's not just a boring summary, right? It's the grand finale. It's the last chapter in the story that you're telling with your research. And this is your one last chance to really drive your point home and leave a powerful impression.
And I totally get it. After putting in all that effort, writing the conclusion can feel like you're facing the final, toughest challenge in the whole process. But you know what? It really doesn't have to be that way. We're going to break it all down into a super simple, clear path that you can follow every single time.
So, what even is a conclusion? Well, at its core, it's the place where you take all the different threads of your research and just pull them all together. It's your big opportunity to finally answer that "so what" question and show your reader why your work actually matters.
Okay, so every really powerful conclusion has to do three key things. Think of these as its fundamental jobs. If you can get these three things right, I promise you, you are 90% of the way to a fantastic conclusion.
All right, here they are. Job number 1, summarize what you discovered. Simple enough. Job number 2, explain the significance. Why should anybody care about these findings? And job number 3, point the way forward. Suggest what other researchers could look into next. So you see, it's a look back at what you did, a look at its present impact, and a look toward the future.
Now here's the best part. You do not have to reinvent the wheel every time you write one of these. There's actually a pretty simple 4-step formula that can turn this big challenge into a straightforward checklist. Let's walk through it together.
So here it is, our roadmap. First, restate your thesis. Second, summarize your findings. Third, highlight why it's also significant. And fourth, suggest what kind of research should happen next. 4 simple steps. Let's dig into step 1 and see how this all connects.
All right, you always want to start by just gently reminding your reader what the whole point of your paper was in the first place. But, and this is super important, you don't just copy and paste it from your intro. No, you rephrase it. You say it in a new, fresh way to show that you've really come full circle.
For example, you can kick things off with something clear and direct, just like this. See how it immediately gets the reader back on track? It reminds them of the core purpose of your study before you start hitting them with all the big takeaways.
Next up, you're going to give a brief, punchy summary of your most important results. And the key word here is brief. Don't just start repeating your entire discussion section all over again. We're just looking for the high-level takeaways, the absolute diamonds you dug up during your research.
Just look at this example. This one sentence perfectly captures the essence of the findings without getting bogged down in all the little details. It's direct, it's powerful, and it's exactly the kind of thing you should be aiming for.
Okay, here we are. This is the so what moment. This is maybe the most important part. Why does your research matter? Who is it going to help? This is the step where you connect your findings from the lab, or from your data, to the actual real world.
And there it is. This sentence clearly explains the practical application. It shows that these results aren't just some abstract numbers on a page. They are genuinely useful insights that can help educators. This is what gives your research real-world impact.
And finally, you wrap things up by looking ahead. By suggesting what could be studied next, you're showing that you understand the limitations of your own work. And even more, you're showing that you're contributing to a bigger, ongoing conversation among scholars.
See how a suggestion like this is both really specific and totally logical. It flows right out of the current study, and it points to a new, interesting path for the next researcher to follow. You're basically passing the baton.
All right, before we wrap up, let me give you a quick pro tip that will make your conclusion sound instantly more professional. It's all about using the right verb tense. I know it sounds like a small detail, but it makes a surprisingly huge difference.
And the rule here is just incredibly simple. You use the past tense to talk about what your study did and what it found. Then you switch to the future tense for what other studies could or should do. That's it. What you did versus what others should do.
So, when you're summarizing your own findings, you're going to be using words like revealed, showed, or demonstrated. These are all completed actions, right? This is the stuff your research has already accomplished.
And then, when you're making those suggestions for what should happen next, you just flip over to the future tense. Words like "will explore," "will focus," and "will investigate" are a crystal clear signal that you're looking forward.
So, as you bring it all home, I just want you to remember this. Your conclusion is your final word. It's the thing that's going to echo in your reader's mind long after they put your paper down. Your job is to make it count.
Before you write a single word of that final paragraph, just stop and ask yourself this one question. Because everything you write in your conclusion should serve to amplify that one key message. If you get that right, you're not just ending a paper, you're making a real, lasting impact. Thanks for tuning in.